down below you will see a link to our sister shows and our shared Discord, along with our link for Extra Life for Toronto Sick Kids Hospital. Consider donating today. With that, I'll give it on to Lauren. Take it away, Lauren.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Resdellon, the New Frontier. It has been a while. As a quick recap of what happened last time, our intrepid adventurers have established at this point, it's more of an outpost of Midgard as opposed to a province. They found a cave network that had recently been opened up from some seismic activity, and they went exploring in their travels. They ended up finding this large underground temple that seems to be buried beneath their city. They did a little bit of investigating on it, found a large set of doors that was locked, and decided to temporarily leave it alone while they figured out what might be behind these giant locked doors that haven't seen the light of day in quite some time. With that, I'm going to let everyone reintroduce their characters who have leveled up to level 5. And as always, we'll start at the bottom with Clay and move to the right.
My name's Clay, otherwise known as Seraph, or that might be the opposite. But I'm your gunslinger extraordinaire. Half drow, half gunslinger. That's all you need to know. Next.
And Nabil here. I'll be playing as Smiley, a Warforged cleric following the life domain path.
I'm Stephanie, and I'm playing Lana Safas, druid extraordinaire.
Hi, I'm Ian. I'll be playing Zaya Flute Took, the half-ogre artificer.
All right. And as we were saying before, where we last left off, our people had just removed themselves from the cave. It was a bit of a harrowing experience where near the end they were succumbing to various creatures that had lived underground for many years. Multiple times they were paralyzed by centipedes and giant centipedes, and it was not fun time. I'm pretty sure most of them never want to see a centipede for most of the rest of their lives.
Yep.
But with that, you return to the not lavish, but definitely more comfortable confines of Midgard, the settlement you've chosen to settle here. And as you'll notice, I made a new map that shows your local region and shows where the various options that you had available to you before.
Midgard.
All right.
Yes. So you guys have successfully completed the cave encounter.
Okay. Now my question is, did we take a rubbing of that what's on the door, or I can't remember, did we translate it?
The door was 30 feet tall, and it was in a language none of you had come across yet. Who did we? We lost in the bill.
Yep.
All right. Well, we can keep talking and then kind of bring him up to speed.
Yeah. Basically, what had happened is the language on it. There we go. Hey, Nabil, welcome back. So,
Sorry, I got cut off.
It's fine. As I was about to say, the language on it, none of you have been able to read. That being said, I think you were able to pick out one or two words based on intuition, because the language written in the plans for your brand new gun, Seraph,
Gotcha.
is the same language here. It's a very ancient language that seems to be of a long departed group of people, as no one has come across anyone who appears to write or speak this language if it has a spoken component.
Okay. Can we at least sketch it out? Just have a note of what it said or what it looks like, so that we can maybe look around to see if anybody can translate it.
Yeah, you could.
Would
You could definitely do that, and informing the home office that hey, we found this giant ruin underneath our settlement, and we kind of want to excavate and figure out what's in it. They will definitely send you supplies and people with knowledge that would be able to do this, and you would be able to reap the benefits quite significantly from anything that might be found.
Great. I guess my first question is then, would the comprehend languages work on that thing?
You haven't tried that yet.
You
Does
also
it?
just use shatter on it.
Okay.
Wait, we're still talking
No.
about the doors, right?
Yes.
There was writing on the doors, and the doors were 30 feet tall. Like, this was not an insignificant obelisk. It was large.
Yeah, but the saying is the writing's on the wall, so if it's on a door, it's less important.
Jesus. Gotcha. That being said, what's our next plan of attack? Are we gonna go back there, or have they given us something to do?
Well, I mean, you guys were significantly haggard and injured and ready to fall over at the end of the last session. So basically what's happened is you've gone in and you're going to take at least a few days of rest and recuperation before you're going to be able to be in any condition to do anything that you might want.
Okay. Fair
My
enough.
back hurts so bad. Oh my god.
You're treating so many centipede bites.
Ugh.
Man.
That being said, in that time, the two groups of soldiers that you had sent out, which I am in the process of naming and applying stat blocks to. In fact, you've got basically your archer unit, which is just known as the Midgard Archers, and probably your green infantry unit, which is your regulars, that were sent out just to sort of scout the situation and see what was happening with the forest stalkers to the south and the disappearance of your scouts to the east, as shown on the map via markers.
Cool.
So you get reports back from them as you're collecting your constitution. The reports from the east show that there was a camp that your troops did make. It seemed to have been attacked by some manner of wild beast. There's signs of claws and blood pools, and it seems that the bodies of the horses and some of the men had been taken into the woods. There was no signs of anyone remaining. There was, however, drag marks of a humanoid form into the woods, and the trail seemed to have ended there. Your troops not being that proficient in tracking, at least not in the terrain they were going into, and not too keen to get too far away from settlement where they were very well protected. So they say that there is some sort of beast there that must have dragged it off.
Oh, hello.
Dragged what off?
The remains of your scouts.
Oh.
To the south, however, there were forest stalkers. Your troops, these were not so much your green ones. They were your more experienced archers. Chose to go in stealthily. Yep, over where Smiley is drawing there. Chose to go in stealthily and smartly, and they happened upon what appeared to be a raiding party of some sort that seems to be stalking the land. They were in the middle of getting ready to launch an ambush on them when they witnessed a series of humanoid forms. Okay, not sure what you're trying to draw in. A series of humanoid forms ambush these forest stalkers.
Okay.
They were tall, bovine-esque humanoids that were wearing what looked to be lichen and moss. That seemed to be augmented with pieces of bark. They moved stealthily, they moved quietly along the land, and they seemed to wield a sickle with a blade made of a leaf that had a long vine with a hard construct on the other end of it that they used to grapple their opponents and then come in and slit their throats almost without being seen, at least by their foes. At the end of it, one of your archers actually managed to fire on one of the forest stalkers that had managed to avoid these creatures and saved their life, which, honestly enough, caused them to regard your people as non-hostiles. Unfortunately, no one was able to actually communicate all that well, but the gist of it was they believed your group shot the forest stalker as opposed to them, and no one came to blows after that. So at the best, they're neutral. At the worst, they don't care to attack you at this point. But they did sort of pull out a piece of bark,
Okay.
almost like it seems to be a paperist style of bark, and they sort of weaved some form of magic with their hand and gave a rough map of the valley, showing that there appears to be some sort of settlement southwest, sort of a little more west than where they encountered the forest stalkers, but definitely, if I can find a pointer. Yeah. So it's definitely, hopefully you guys can see it, in that direction from
Gotcha.
Midgard. It's not perfect by any way, but you get the feeling that this might be an indication of where they're from, and if you wish to make first contact, you could.
That's not a bad idea, but we also have to think about the people who were who disappeared to the east, right?
Yeah, and the troops that came back to it remarked that it was quite savage, and they're a little scared that there might be beasts like this. They the tales seem to have picked up a bit of hyperbole over the few days it took them to return, where they say their pad was 6 inches wide, and someone else will step up. No, it was at least a foot wide with claw marks at least 3 feet long, and just the hyperbole seems to grow and grow and grow until they're talking about a beast that's 100 feet wide with fangs the size of streetcars.
Mm-hmm. Which I don't think they'd know what a streetcar is, but okay.
Yeah, I'm picking that up for our reference, but
Exactly.
yes.
Just having some fun. Okay. Does anybody need to do anything in the city while we're here?
Don't think so.
Okay. And then putting it forward, do you guys want to check out? If you do, which one do you guys want to check out? Scouts, last known position, or the forest stalkers?
I have no real. Whichever one you guys want to do.
My vote. Go ahead.
Sorry for cutting you off. Just one question I have. Earlier, Lauren, you mentioned that there was before the Forest Stalkers, the first thing you mentioned that there was something that we were not able to read. I missed that part. I got disconnected at that part.
Actually, I didn't. I don't think I explained too much while you were disconnected because you came back fairly quickly. Basically, on the last session, you found that giant temple with the 30-foot tall door with writing on it.
Oh.
That while you couldn't understand anything that was written on it at the time, you did liken it to the same writing on the plans, and through interpretation, you figured out one sequence of words, just basically based on mechanical understanding of, well, in this case, it's referring to an open chamber, And that's sort of what's referenced here. It may not mean open chamber, but may mean open or chamber or passageway or something. Like,
Okay. All right.
translation is very, very much subjective to the what you're interacting with. So you understand that you don't know what it is, but you've at least drawn a connection between the old tech that you found in that previous washed out cavern and this new temple that you have found. And I say new from the point of you had not seen it before, not that it is brand spanking new.
Okay. I mean, if you're throwing out votes in where to go, I would like to put in going east.
So the scout's last known position? Is that what you're saying?
That's my vote, anyway.
Okay.
I mean, I would like to find it out if there's even a very tiny possibility that someone is there. I mean, any information is good information at this point, so we should take that up chance.
All right. So we have, and I'm under. I think I'll vote the same way. I wouldn't mind going to find out exactly what happened over there. So I'll put it to the rest of you guys. Well, actually,
Yeah, no, that's fine. And Steph's AFK. She had to drop off. Somebody came to pick up a document, so she'll be
No
back
problem.
to bed.
Okay,
Okay,
so we can go through and ravage Tuckland and then head out to the Scout's Land's known position.
Now,
well,
my own.
keep in mind this map is subjective. Just because that river you see there is fairly large, considering each of these hexes is 10 miles.
Oh yeah, that was the fun part.
I don't see a river.
On the left side.
The river to the west.
Oh, I see it. I see it.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to the east, so it's all good. Okay, that being said, we'll need like horses and supplies and stuff like that. Is that an issue, or do we have to pay for that, or is it?
I mean,
Well,
it is.
well, I mean, you have resources such as that. You're running low on horses because most of the horses you have are work horses, and thus are being put to work to help, build your settlement or till fields or of the sort. And those ones that weren't being put to work to that were in essence being used by your scouts. So you lost about 40% of your useful
Horse.
I'm going to say military horses, but by military I mean non-civilian use horses.
Okay. So we have to basically go on foot, is what you're saying.
You could take the horses and run. I mean, you are the ones in charge. It just means that you would have to worry about, not having them available for your remaining scouts. Which, I mean, in all eventuality, if you're leaving, you're probably going to have all of your people stay in town and protect it.
What's the estimation if we head out by foot?
If you're going to head out by foot, I mean, this is subjective. I don't really know.
I mean, it is 90 miles. I mean, it probably might take, I don't know, a day or two at least.
90 miles?
It's actually it's 90 miles as the crow flies. It's actually 200 miles.
Yeah, exactly.
To go down off of your plateau and around.
Oh,
and that's the direct route. Like that's literally going to the first available square off of the plateaus and then all the way across in as straight a line as possible.
So if we head down the slope, that's 70, and if
that is 10 days.
A healthy person can walk like what, 20, 30 miles in a day?
You can you can go 14 miles without pushing yourself. You can do 28 if you're working at a fast pace. But if you're working at a fast pace, you're more open to the elements. You're more open to bad things going on, surprises. So you're looking at 2 weeks to get there minimum, and 2 weeks back minimum.
I'm sorry. I suggest we take some horses.
Yeah, the horses it will cut it down to a week.
Yeah,
and that is, as I said, a week in this game is 10 days. So I'm just rounding.
Nah, he's right. But we're losing. We're going to lose a lot of things, time, information people if we head out by foot. So yeah, horses is a great alternative.
Are there any
Okay, so-
alternatives, like instead of horses, mammoths or elephants or anything like that in this region?
Or jumping.
Griffins.
Tuckland!
Okay, well, first of all, the creatures you have are the ones that were sent with you. You haven't asked to import any yet, and you don't have all that much in the way of capital to support doing this. You do have a startup trade of those guns that you have begun to produce that eventually will give you quite some capital to work with. But you don't have a production line. You don't have skilled individuals that are able to produce them en masse. So right now, you're in a deficit.
Okay.
But if it's understood that you're setting up a new establishment, you're going to be running at a deficit for at least a year and a half.
Okay.
I mean, there's only 4 of us, so if
We
we don't mind, yeah, I mean, if we don't mind doubling up, we get. I mean, the remaining couple of horses that we could have taken, the scouts could use that. I don't know, scouts.
Yeah, I think 2 horses. I think you're the heaviest one, probably, right? Nabil?
Or me, because
Sorry?
I'm half giant.
Yeah, you got 2 people who would need 1 easily, and then you've got 2 people who would be lighter that could easily ride on a third.
Okay.
So I mean, that is an option.
I mean, I could tie a rope to my shield and tie that to a horse, and I have my very own sled. You can carry me on that.
Well, that's another thing. You could take
that's
2 horses
a
and a cart,
Yeah.
and you would not be traveling quickly, but you would be traveling together in relative comfort. And I say this saying that a cart is not comfortable to ride in. It is over rough terrain. You're going slow, but you're not tiring yourselves out.
I think I suggest we take 3 horses to speed things up, because then we can, if everything goes well and we come back okay, we can always go to the next point. I think we should move this along. That's my
That
suggestion.
sounds good. Also, you sound really distant on my mic. Is anyone else hearing that?
Nope.
I
Nope.
did hear it a bit, so I had to turn up his volume on my end.
Is that
slightly.
better?
Like I increased your volume by
that's
about
a lot
20%
better.
on
I
Okay.
increased
That's
his
better.
all the way, and I still can barely hear him.
That's weird, because the mic's like right by my mouth, like almost in my mouth at this point. Does that help at all?
Wow.
Yeah.
It does help.
Okay. Now it's
Oh.
like in my mouth. Okay, so
All
let's
right.
let's.
You guys wish to head out. You can easily secure a cart. I mean, you had plenty of them available to you. You can easily secure enough horses to pull it at a good traveling pace.
I think
will
we
say
decided. I think we decided on 3 horses, not a cart.
3 horses? Okay, so with 3 horses, yeah, you can push yourselves without too much issue to go about 20 miles a day without tiring yourselves out or tiring the horses out too much.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Steph,
Yeah?
do you have Longstrider by?
I will double check. I don't think I have Longstrider just
You
yet.
can prepare it each morning because you can change which spells you can
Right,
prepare.
right.
And
Is
you
that
get
what-
Longstrider.
And
So
then
do
we
I.
can and we can speed that up. Whoever
I can
wants to
tell
do
you
this.
right now, it's on your sheet in Roll20. Because Longstrider is a first level spell.
I
You
do
have
have
Longstrider.
Longstrider. I just couldn't. Yes.
Yeah, you just need to prepare it, which, considering you would be, getting these reports and planning when to head out, you would not do it at 4:00 in the afternoon. You would do it at, 6 in the morning the next day to get the full day's worth of travel with the light.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yeah, your Longstrider will give you some.
We can upcast
You know.
it though, right?
If you cast at a higher level, you get more than you can target more than one additional. You can target one additional creature for each slot.
Yeah, and you have 3rd level spells, so you
I
can
have
easily
2
do
third
that.
level spell slots.
So for an hour, its speed increases by 10 feet. So I will say that would knock a day of travel off of your week if you were to do this, using all of your spells, your third level spell slots. Unless is it concentration? I think it's concentration.
Would it be? Because every day
It is not concentration.
Not concentration.
Oh, that's even better. She'd get to rehash her spells every day. So.
Well, yeah. So at this point, you would have.
It's only an hour though.
Hey, that hour is like still.
Yeah, but as I said, at this point, I will say it will knock 2 days off if you're spending all of your spell slots, because you can do 3, 4, and I think you have 1 or 2 third level slots.
What happens if we take horses and then I cast a long strider on the horses?
That's what I'm assuming you're doing.
Yes,
exactly.
Yes, exactly.
That's what I'm saying. It instead of taking 10 days of travel, it will take you 8 days of travel.
If you use all your
But
slots.
it will require all of your spell slots.
That's the only
on
thing
that day to increase it to that point.
I say let's do it. Why not?
Like over the entire journey. So it'd be
Wait a
8
second.
days of using all of your spell slots.
I got a
Then
better
you
idea.
could spend a-
I got a slightly okay. Who else said that they also have Long Strider?
I do.
Okay, so why don't you instead use it together so that you use your first level spells rather than using your third levels? Because if you do so, then if we run into something, you'd have the options of third levels.
Yeah, we could do that. Well, I don't have third level. I only have second level.
He's a half
Okay.
caster.
I'm still saying, like, I'm just simply saying, rather than use your most powerful level spell, if you split it between you guys, then we'll still get the benefit, and you'll still be able to at least use possibly higher level spells if need be.
All right. That is certainly an option. Are you guys planning on being somewhat cautious on your way over, or are you just going to try and pick the best, fastest route? I mean, you do have reports from your scouts that would give you an advantage on these checks because they have made this traversal before, so they know the route. They have given you the best possible route to get back and to your base, so they can give you a report of what creatures they may have come across, what was available there, and through that you could discern what would be the best method to avoid them or place yourself in an advantage if you couldn't.
Well, knowing that obviously our troops disappeared, it would be stupid and foolhardy to just make a whole bunch of noise. So we have to be at least, this is again me suggesting this to the party, we should at least be somewhat stealthy or aware or perceptive. Does that make sense, guys?
I concur.
Yeah.
All right. So in that case, then, if you guys are heading across land, give me. Well, let's see here. I will say. I'm assuming Steph would be the best one at this.
You want me to roll perception?
Not perception, survival.
Oh yeah, 24 mofo.
26, because you have advantage because you've had people who have made the journey within days of you.
Awesome.
So yeah, they rushed it so that they didn't have to worry too much, but they were able to pick up on things, and your scouts have made previous excursions and given information. So you're able to pick the best route through the lowlands here. It's not so much hilly. There's a gentle hill to it. And you're able to pick the points that would give you the best vantage points. Pick a route that gives you, the least available options for people to try and ambush you or creatures to try and ambush you. And the few times that you would have come across creatures that would try this, you're able to see them well enough in advance that they are not able to sneak up on you. And, the few times that they would, you're either able to scare them off or create such a show of force that you take very little damage that can't be taken care of with a good night's rest. I'm not going to run you through, a random encounter where you face 6 wolves when you're just going to decimate them in 1 round or 2.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And that being said, you guys, as you're approaching evening of the 8th day, did I put you on this map? I don't think I put you on this map, did I? Whoops. Sorry, everyone.
Ah, there we go. I was wondering if you threw us on the event or Horizon or something.
No, I screwed up and forgot to put character tokens on this map for you guys. You guys come across the remains of the camp that your compatriots were on. Hopefully you can see, Smiley. You can see remains of a campfire that shouldn't be lit. I'm assuming you're going to activate your
Light spell on... Yeah, sorry, light cantrip, not a spell. And I'm looking. I'm trying to touch the ground. If I find any stone pebble, use that as a.
I'm
torch?
putting it on you right now because honestly, yeah.
Okay, okay, just for simplicity's sake.
Yeah, effectively. Actually, you know what? I'm going to turn dynamic lighting off on this map because effectively it will be dusk and you'll still be able to see.
Okay.
So there.
I also have daylight!
Daylight's not going to be all that useful right now.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry. Before we continue, I'm having a bit of a. I don't know if it counts as a glitch. I'm moving the map up and down so I can see better the map. The lighting is moving along as I move up and down the map. I don't know how to explain. It's not moving with me. It's moving. It's not moving with my avatar. It's moving with me as I scroll up and down on the map.
Well, I did turn
it is
off
me
dynamic lighting.
too. Zoom out.
That is. Oh, you know what? It just. If I turn that off. That is weird. What the hell? Okay, just a sec. I'm going to try something.
Did roll 20,
I think it did, so I'm going to switch you back to that map and then back to this map. And hopefully that... There we go. That fixed it.
Okay, now I can see everything. I'm assuming
that
everyone
fixed
sees
it.
the same thing.
Note to self, never turn off dynamic lighting while you're on the map.
Ah, that's good info.
So yeah, you see the remains of the camp. From where you are, you can see that there are corpses of 2 horses. Long slash marks appear over the bodies of the horses, and a clamping vice-like mouth wound appears over the back of these horses' necks. So much so that it looks like literally something with claws has been able to reach around across the back of the neck and bite in at least a few inches on either side, and in some cases torn chunks out as they were thrown from the beast before it went down.
Oh. So we're dealing with a big creature.
You're dealing with at least one big creature from what you're seeing right now, yes.
Alright, so should I want to see... I want to investigate further. So would that be a perception check? Survival?
You're trying to do what exactly?
Figure out what type of creature it was, figure out how long it's been, and see if I see any tracks.
All right, in that case then, give me give me nature and survival.
Do I have advantage on this survival check?
You have guidance.
I will say in this instance, yeah, you'll have advantage on the survival check.
Woohoo!
Not on the nature check, because you are tracking in an environment where you have had followers come in and give you an idea. So you're looking to see what they saw and beyond. So you've already had help. The nature check is to figure out what might have done this. And all you can figure out is this thing is big. It has a big mouth. And it is big.
Like some sort of big creature, I can't figure it out. But have I figured out tracks with that crit?
You're pretty sure it has big teeth, big claws, and probably 4 legs.
Do I see where do I see any tracks leading from this campsite is what I'm looking for?
You do see tracks, but you do notice that there are multiple sets of tracks, which means that this was not this attack was not participated by a single creature. There were at least 2. You can't tell because it has been a few days. Like I said, it's been a few days since your men left, and while they weren't able to tell how long it had been, it's probably been a good 10-day since the attack took place. You do know they were overdue a while ago, so it appears that, on their way back, they were attacked. And rifling through what remains of their belongings that your troops didn't think to do beforehand, you do come across their scouting reports that do show a log point of them setting up camp here, and they expect to be back at base within a day or 2. That they had finished their patrol, that they hadn't found anything of note, but they had heard sounds of creatures that were moving about a few days ago, and they appeared to be large, and they'd seen the remains of deer and elk and caribou that had been taken down by these things and feasted upon. So you get the feeling that these guys had at least known that these creatures were out there, but not necessarily that they were being stalked.
Okay. Whew. I will let everyone know that.
But yeah, you do see a definite trail that shows that they took at least 1 horse that you can see. And it appears that they also took 1 individual who apparently was not fully dead when he was being taken.
Oh, lordy.
As the flailing leg mark clearly describes that he was flailing about trying to free himself.
Oh no, the poor dear. I will relate this information to the rest of my party.
And when she does so, you can clearly see what she's talking about.
Yep, and see, that's where the leg dragged on the mud. I feel like CSI.
What's CSI?
Crime scene investigation. You know those murder shows I listen to and watch?
Never mind.
Forensic Files.
Dum dum.
Oh, geez, what do we do now? Do we try and follow the tracks? Do we... and see what exactly
I think we should
these creatures
prepare.
are?
Yeah, I think we should prepare ourselves before we do anything else. From the descriptions you gave us, yeah, we're gonna need to be at our peak
long
performance
rest
right
would
now.
be helpful in this regard because I used all my spell slots getting us here.
Okay, yeah. So you guys are going to set up a watch, I assume, spend the night. That is no problem whatsoever. You guys know that, this position is not the best option considering there's still corpses on the ground. So you probably would head out, say another hour and a half. It is dusk now, but you have people with dark vision, you have light, and you head off and you would set up a camp. I assume you guys are setting a watch. There's 4 of you, so that's 1 watch each throughout the night. Lana could sit with everyone, as could Seraph, I believe, because I think you have trance as well.
And also, Smiley doesn't need. He can go into an.
Right, I forgot about that. You've got 2 people who effectively can spend the night conscious and taking watch without negative effects.
Except my description says that I must spend 6 hours. So I'm assuming that means that as soon as I go into my stasis, I cannot
Yes, but it
get
doesn't
out.
it doesn't render you unconscious, and you can see and hear as normal. What it means is during your long rest, you need to spend 6 hours of it doing nothing, but sitting, and you can take watch.
So I can move in and out of stasis if anything happens.
Yes,
That's what
yeah.
I'm trying.
The same thing.
Okay,
Same thing
good. So
with trance. As long as you get the total of the 4 hours, you're good during that long rest. You still have to spend the entire long rest in one spot resting, as I made air quotes over the internet. Basically, it means that, if you're in the middle of if you're taking a long rest, you have to take the long rest. You can't just go, all right, I'm going to take a long rest. 6 hours later, let's get on the road again, because that's not a long rest. That's just you taking your sentry rest during the long rest. It means that if you want to, make tools or, sharpen weapons or read, you could do so for the extra 6 hours of the long rest without issue. But yeah, so you've got effectively two people. I don't know if Seraph's a half elf or a full drow. I forget.
Seraph, play.
Do we lose
He
Clay?
is
Is he
a
too-
drow.
Yeah,
So
you can
he
hear me,
has
right?
trance.
Can you hear
Yes,
me?
now
Hello?
we can. Yeah.
Okay, sorry, I had you on mute.
Yeah. So you're a full drow. So you have 3 people in your party who effectively can stand watch without any negative effects during the night.
Cool.
So yeah, you guys are good. So I will have the 3 of you give me a perception check.
Oh, we're gonna die.
Jeez.
We ain't gonna die. Relax.
Now, are we going to proceed with guidance or
I
You
I can
receive
give.
the guide. Yes.
Yeah. Per.
with guidance? Whoa, we're
Oh,
all
that's
low.
not bad. 3 16s.
Wait.
Yeah.
Actually, mine's 20.
Oh, wait, yeah. And Steph would be a
20. Wait, he didn't roll
roll your
first.
D4, Steph.
Ah! 20!
Nice.
26.
Holy shit, that's a great
Internet
guidance.
high five! Internet high five!
Nobody's gonna say what your elf eye sees. This is the perfect opportunity for that.
You see nothing throughout the night. It is a very, very quiet night. You also were smart enough to realize that, if the trail went one way where they took the corpses, you're not going to head along the trail and set up your camp. That would be stupid. Instead, you head off to the side on a tangent and then choose to make your way back in the morning. That being said, son of a stupid mouse no longer works again. Yeah, I need to fix that at some point. All right. So, in that case, it is 8:30. Yeah, no. All right. So, you guys continue on your journey, and I'm going to theater of mind this part as opposed to putting you in an actual map, because I can't access that map, and it's not like there was combat on that map. So in the morning, you wake up and you refine the trail. It's not that hard to find. You knew which way it was going, and you choose to meet it at a point that you knew still existed. Lana is fairly capable as a tracker. I mean, being able to transform into beasts that have better tracking ability, she's picked up a thing or two over the years. And as a result, you continue on this trail for a couple hours. It takes you about 2.5, closer to 3 hours after finding the trail to reach what appears to be a den of some sort. It's a cave structure built into the side of a hill, and it seems to be actually well secluded in the fact that if you didn't know what you were looking for, you would not have found it if you were just walking along. You were following the trail. It's a fairly washed out trail at this point, but again, you have an expert tracker who knows what she's doing, and she finds exactly where it is, and she goes, okay, they dragged it through here. There's a small river in front of you, but you can see signs of where the shoreline has been pulled aside as opposed to been washed away. And you continue following to find the cave. And as you approach the cave, there is a smell that seems to emanate from it. And
Smell.
yes. And I'm taking some liberties here, but I'm assuming it's a smell that some of you have at least witnessed at one point or another.
Rotting bodies, I'm guessing.
Not so much rotting bodies as
Rotten eggs.
decimated bodies. Things that
Oh.
had been torn asunder and just destroyed. This is something that it has been a battlefield of two savage creatures that have just tried to tear something apart. In front of you, you find the bodies of two large felines. They don't look familiar enough to you, Steph, to be considered a saber-toothed tiger, but they seem to be some sort of offshoot of that.
Oh, and they were pretty big.
Yes, these things are big. These things are large creatures. They are definitely beasts. They are definitely not alive. And if I had my mouse back, I would be showing you an image. Unfortunately, I don't at this moment, which makes that a little difficult. But yeah, no, these things were very powerful creatures, and looking them over, they appear to be leapers. Powerful front and hind legs, and the front legs appear to have this retractable claw from the forearm that is hooked, that appears to, looking back to when you were examining the horses, it appears that these things leapt onto the horse, clung to it using this hooked claw, and then went for the neck at, what was that?
What happened?
Trying to copy and paste a picture in of comparing saber-toothed cat size to our size, but that's the image URL.
Yeah, this thing is definitely in the 6.5 foot tall, probably 12 feet long variety. It does not have a very long tail. It has a very stubby tail.
Yeah, they all do, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so this thing appears that, based upon what you're looking at, it would leap upon a creature, cling
Just
to it
devour
with these claws, and then go for the neck from behind and just tear out chunks of flesh to bring it down. So these things are fairly deadly looking creatures. That being said, these things are very dead creatures that appear to have been cut open from one shoulder to hip bone.
Ooh, by something
in
even
a
bigger?
single stroke.
By something even bigger? What the heck?
And looking around, you see feathers.
Oh my god, it's a rock!
The size of you.
It's a rock! Hi!
But this is in a cave network. Like this is about 10 feet into a cave. The cave is fairly large. You get the feeling that it would fit something that was maybe, 20 feet tall if it was hunched over and moving. But you don't get the feeling a rock would climb into a place like this because it's very difficult for something that big to move. You've seen a rock before. You've never faced one in combat. At least I hope not. But you've seen one before. Actually, yeah, that is very much the creature I based it on, because that is sort of the, saber-toothed tiger.
Yep.
But yeah, no, this thing, it looks like, there was a small pack, I want to say. There seems to be two of them. And on the far end of the cave network, you see a nest.
Like a bird's nest?
Like a bed nest.
Like for a human or for an animal?
For
humanoid?
animals. For animals. It appears to be a mattering of leaves and dried grass that was designed to be slightly more comfortable and dry than the surrounding cave.
Alright, I am going to... Alright, survival, perception, nature to figure out what it is? What creature it could belong to?
Just going up to and looking at it, you can definitely figure out what this was.
What is it?
It was where they were raising their young,
So we get saber-toothed kittens?
I think
who are currently dead.
No!
Dead.
Oh wait, wait, are the kitties
They
alive or
haven't
no?
eaten in a few days. They are very, very young cubs. Each is about the size of your standard house cat.
So, can we save them or no?
Well, they've been dead,
Oh.
but I mean, if you wish to find diamonds and raise them back to life, you could.
What do you think, guys?
I think no. Okay.
But then we could ride them into battle!
Yeah, but maybe you should find some live ones, and it would be less cost effective or more
That
cost
being
effective.
said, Steph, when I get the chance, I will add the stat block to what you can turn into because you have seen a form of this creature.
Awesome.
I believe I called it a razor beast.
Razor Beast.
Now, if it's down this cave, we might want to do an old tactic that we could smoke it out. And see if,
Reaching the nest, you find that it's basically the end of this cave. It
Oh,
appears to be about a 15, 20 foot long winding cave that gets them out of the elements and into someplace somewhat dry. Basically, it looks like they had dragged their prey, the horses and the man. The man is no longer there. You see no signs of his corpse, but he was definitely dragged here. The horse is only a head. The rest of the body seems to have been torn from the head, and there are no signs of remains of it either. You do see long claw marks across the area, and it is definitely the sign of a battle of these two cats against something larger, and from what it looks like, bipedal.
mhm. But we can track where it went? Is that what you're saying? I don't know.
Judging based on the fact that you know now what might have done these things in, you could definitely look for signs of it and track that should you find any. Otherwise, you know some sort of creature is out here that has, 5 foot long feathers on its body.
Okay. I say we hunt it. Can't let this thing keep, potentially killing not only the animals around here, but the varmints, our own people. So let's hunt it down. What do you guys
All
think?
right. Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
And
'Cause
every
Cookie
time
Pie-
there is a vote, Steph is never here.
Well, she's our tracker, so we need to wait for her to come back, I guess.
Yeah. All right. Well, tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to say 10-minute break, but give her time to come back. Everyone else can get drinks and that. I can restart my computer and hopefully get my mouse back.
Cool.
Okay, sounds good. 10 minutes it
So
is.
10
Hey,
minutes.
we're back.
All right, be right back.
Welcome back.
Yay.
So, if I did it right, everyone should see what exactly I let Lana turn into now. And by turn into now, I mean eventually.
Where would that be in? Like Discord?
No, it should be in Roll20.
Nope, we don't see it.
Yeah, I don't see anything. Forest Striker, Beastery, is that what you were talking about?
No? Huh. Interesting. Well, I will do that now. Wait a minute. I'm smart. There, that should work better.
There we go. Razor Beast.
All right, is everybody back?
Yep, I'm
Yep.
here.
Yep.
Awesome. So we're back in the game, and I have my mouse back. Yay!
It's
Woo.
always a good step forward.
Yeah, Steph has sat down now. All right, so if you wanted to track the creature that has done this to these poor razor beasts, you would be able to start tracking them if your druid wishes to do so.
Of
Yep.
course.
Survival, mofo.
Guidance.
Blue. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. 18. So it's a little hard going at some points. But you are dealing with a very large creature, but you're not dealing with any sort of blood trails or anything. It looks like whatever creature this was, it either was not leaving blood behind, or the blood was prevented from easily reaching the ground. But you do see signs of twigs that have been broken along the way, branches snapped. You then decide to think, well, wait a minute, this thing's big. And you look up and you see branches that stand at least 10, 15 feet above you that had been broken and hang limp.
Does this look like it was walking away or flying away, but it was sort of laden down? It was barely able to clear like the forest.
You were out of the room when I said this. You're fairly confident that this is not a rock. One, it was attacking quite viciously within a cave structure where it did not have the advantage of being able to fly. Two, there are long claw marks on the creatures that you're attacking, while there's also large impressions in the ground that are not succinct because it's been moving around a lot. But you get the feeling that whatever did this was at least bipedal in some form, or quadruped, but stood up to attack.
Oh my god, it's a gigantic cassowary.
I have no idea what that is.
It's like a gigantic emu.
Yes, it's a giant carnivorous emu.
With an extra set of limbs. Did you say it has?
Oh crap, we are screwed against... Humans lost a war against regular emus!
No, that was Australia. They're not human.
The emus won the emu war!
The emus didn't know they were in a war.
That's how they won.
So we keep tracking, I'm assuming? Even though apparently it's not hard if we just look up.
Yeah. It's wading through the
So
trees.
we're like a predator?
Yeah.
No, like
Oh
an
my.
elephant.
Give me 1 sec, guys.
I would love to see a predator, an elephant-style predator. That would be the funniest shit ever.
Hell, it's hunting you, then you're not a big fan.
No, we need someone just to do only Arnold impressions since we're in the forest.
Run away.
I'll get to the chopper.
Something wrong with the computer again?
Yeah, the mouse is.
The mic is dying.
Not the mic. The mouse is dying.
Wireless?
No.
Oh.
He went up to get his own mic, but I'm hoping it might be the USB port. No, he's getting multiple. He ties them all together and swings them around his head.
For he's a part of the glorious PC Master Race.
That sounds messed up.
It is. It's this thing on Reddit that went way too far. It started as a funny little joke and just, no.
The PC Master Race?
No, like,
Yes.
peasants buy consoles.
Okay.
True gamers buy PCs.
All right. So I have a quick workaround that I need to figure out how to get this fucking mouse to work all the time now, because it is just damn annoying. All right. So I have the ability to run this encounter that I have set up, because you have been able to track this creature to its den.
Alright, guys, we're going up against a giant emu.
A
They're
four-legged emu.
terrifying.
Emus are pretty stupid, aren't they? Aren't they the animals that they lie on the ground and then they swivel their heads around and they get all confused and stuff?
No, that's an ostrich.
That's an ostrich?
That's an ostrich. Emus
Even
are
though I
like
think that's a myth.
No, I've seen video of them actually doing it. So
emus are like ostriches on cocaine plus meth.
And they're heavy metal. They can withstand, like, Gatling guns.
Whatever.
No, they can't. They just run away, and then the jeep gets stuck in the mud, and then they, chase the things for another week. Emus aren't that bad. I think cassowaries are meaner.
No, they're delicious.
And there were bigger. What's the bigger emu? Moa.
So ostriches are actually bigger than the emus.
Now look up Moa.
Moa. Isn't that like extinct?
It is, but
Yeah.
only recently.
Really?
Like last
I think
1,000 years or something?
I think I've heard of it.
Well, from what I can see, a moa is pretty small and pretty cute. It's like the capybara of ostriches.
Wait, are you not looking at the 510
I was
pound?
like, small? They're 12 feet. 12 feet in height with neck outstretched and weigh up to 510 pounds. That's
Okay,
not small.
Okay, so, moa. Okay, sorry, I was looking at a very mislabeled picture.
Yeah.
Holy shit, that's a big ass bird. Sorry, we were playing D&D, but how did we get here?
Well,
Because of things that
Steph thinks it's
Yeah.
a emu.
Yeah, I think it's a giant
Okay.
emu, and once upon a time, there was this foolish kingdom in the land down under that attempted to eradicate them, but they ended up being far more tough, significantly tougher than everyone thought. And eventually, the humans lost the war, and Mother Nature prevailed!
All right, so I have this set up. Keep in mind that I am using 2 different machines right now, so this is going to be fun.
All right.
Actually, can I just get someone to do something just so I can test that this works out properly?
Mhm.
Someone roll me anything. I don't care what it is. Cool, that works. Awesome. Because that means I can use this exactly the way I want it to.
The hell
So,
is that?
Now you got that one out of the way.
Steph, what is that thing you posted?
What thing I posted?
It's like a wall of text.
Well, I was trying to get a picture of a saber-toothed tiger in comparison to a human, and it just failed.
Okay. That's what you're talking about. Okay. Got it. Ooh, there's water. Water! What's Bruce Lee's
all
favorite
right.
drink?
So, I'm using my iPad to show the map and be able to roll all the stuff for the monster.
Okay.
It's going to be fun with hit points. I'm going to use my iPhone for that to track it and just tell you what's happening. That'll work. Calculator for the win. So yeah, you guys should be on this map. Yes, you are. Sweet. Crap. Crap.
Modern problems require modern solutions. iPad, eh?
Is there anything I can
Help.
you?
There we go. All right. No, I realized that I had not set the dynamic lighting right. So everyone should be able to see everything except for where that one line is, which is the wall of a cave.
Yep,
Okay.
that's right.
It looks this whole area looks downright picturesque. You could really build yourself a nice little cabin here.
Well, I mean, we're in Tuckland. Tuckland is a great place to be.
Wait a minute. You can't claim we own this as a part of a corporation. You can't just claim like most of it as your own.
Didn't claim most of it.
Uh,
49% isn't most.
I was like, that's what humans have been doing for how long now? Just saying. So we stealthily.
Head up to the cave, yeah.
Let's stealth.
All right, so go ahead and roll me some stealth.
Right. Nice. With or without guidance.
Oh, everyone's getting guidance before they roll.
Right. Guidance stealth for the win.
I don't know if I can, because I get a disadvantage on stealth because of my body.
Well, I was gonna say you'd also have disadvantage because you're casting a spell.
Me?
That is true.
Oh, right. Well, I don't need it, so I'm good.
I'm the only one walking around stealthy, clunk, 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 clunk.
Unstealthy.
You're not much. You've got the same as me, pretty much. No, one less.
Well, no, half the party is stealthy. The other half is not.
Oh, I didn't. I was looking at Clay's the first time. Never mind.
Yeah, no. All right, so you plan to move forward.
Yep. Move. I guess this is like a slope.
Where the color changes there with the shadow.
No, like
Yes.
this bit of rock is like a slope.
And the cave is.
It is okay. Where the drop shadow is signifies that there is a sharp incline in elevation of approximately 8 to 12 feet. In other words, you come up to a small cliff. And as you get closer and closer to the cave mouth, it becomes taller and taller to the point where it becomes a 30-foot tall opening with rock face above it.
Okay, so is the mouth cave near the ground or above our
The
heads?
mouth cave is off and to your right where you see it suddenly go in and you can see the shadow effects on one side and the other, in theory.
Is that the cave?
Right where you're
mouth of the
pinging
cave?
there, yes.
Yeah, that's what I kind of figured.
All right,
And it should also be in shadow compared to anywhere else on the map.
That is true. All right.
Except for where the trees are, because trees.
All right. Who's going to take a quick peek?
I'll do it. If anything pops out, I'm the one that's going to take the brunt.
You just hear, it's whatever it is has you in its teeth.
I'm just going to take a pamphlet, knock on the wall of the opening, and I'm going to have you heard the good word? It's like,
oh God, you are walking armor. So
okay, I take a peek. What do I see?
Okay.
Holy shit!
All right. Can you do me a favor from where you are currently, Nabil?
Yeah.
Can you, using the measurement tool, show me your field of vision? Because I'm looking at a small map and I have very limited controls because it's an iPad. It's finger touch.
You mean what is the furthest I can see?
Yes, just pointing, not saying what you can see.
Okay, this...
Okay, so yeah, you do see everything of note. Cool.
I'm assuming that's a bad thing. Should I step back?
Well, unfortunately, it can see you.
Cock.
Yeah. That's one way to put it. So with that, it will see you and think you're something edible.
Initiatives are rolled, I guess.
It is initiatives to.
Before we do, I just yell out to the back. That's a big thing.
You can't be more descriptive.
I think. Yeah, I think I try to describe it as it shows up in the turn order.
Yeah, when it comes, like you can see the expression on Smiley's face just go from okay, yeah, we can do this to oh shit, that's a big thing.
Okay.
Holy smokes. Seriously.
I think I'm missing Lana. Yep. Missing Lana. Well, that's not some bad initiative rolls there. And then there's Lana.
And there's me.
So we let Chunky Boy come in after Tuck and Surf get done with it.
All right. I think that worked. That should work in theory.
Okay.
Can't tell because it doesn't have a scroll bar on the iPad, but it does on the computer. All right, so Sarah, you see Smiley, see this thing looking like he's getting ready to backpedal. You hear, I don't want to call it a huff, but it's definitely a forceful exhale of breath of something big and powerful, and the sound of something very large getting up.
Okay. I'm going to hold an action, and when it comes out, I'm going to cast Fairy Fire on it.
Yeah, it seems to be coming from about 60 feet down the cave. All right, so you're getting ready to cast Fairy Fire. Next up, we have Tuck.
All right. I guess I will.
Oh, wait a second. Fairy Fire is concentration, isn't it? Damn it. Okay. Then you know what? I hold an action for a shot.
All right, that works too.
And I still can't see it there, but I will summon the turret next to me.
All right, so go ahead and drop your turret. Remember, you can just drag and drop.
Yep, I'm just trying to decide which one I want to do. Oh, it's next, so I should pick now. Well, let's set her on fire.
Keep in mind, you cannot tell it to hold its action.
All right, there we go.
Might want to give it more healing.
Yeah, I don't know why it's that.
Because it doesn't it's because it's considered a creature. Its hit points doesn't update when you drop it.
Oh, okay.
So yeah. All right. So that's that. This will be.
Fingers crossed.
Why is everybody silent all of a sudden?
Because I need to physically count out how many spaces this damn thing is moving.
Oh, okay.
Because I don't have access to the fancy tools.
We can help you with that if you want. Can't we?
Yeah. Is there a way? Is there a way to?
Okay, just a sec. Stop. Sweet. It moves 60 feet.
That's a big one, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's big.
It's a chunky boy.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe it is in range of sight of everyone, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think, Seraph, can you only see the bottom half of it?
No, I can see the whole thing. Almost the whole thing. I think just
Almost?
up to pretty much almost. I'd say 90% of it I can see.
Okay, in that case, then I'm going to give it 3/4 cover because it's big and coming out of a cave. So I mean, it is currently limited in its ability to move, though. Mm-hmm. So it moves up, and if your held shot can go off if you wish.
Okay, actually, can I change that? I think I'm going to hunter mark it. I should have done that instead. That's what I kind of.
That would be a bonus action, so no.
Okay, all right. I will shoot and see what happens. Well, that's a big chicken. All right.
Again, this thing has, 4 or 5.5 foot long. Okay, why are you getting a +7?
7, exactly.
That shouldn't be right.
That is.
I think it's
right.
adding your hunter's mark as a plus to hit and not a plus to damage.
Yeah. Okay, let's take that off. What the hell? Okay. Yeah, that's weird.
I assume you rolled a 6 on that, so that's a 13 to hit.
Yep.
Unfortunately, that is not enough to hit this thing.
Recover,
you-
right?
I'm sorry?
Because the
No,
cover.
no, it actually
That's
it-
a decent.
it wasn't cover. Like
Okay.
you shoot and it deflects off of one of the feathers. This
Jeez.
thing, its hide is pretty damn tough.
Okay. What the hell?
That being said, you just interrupted it before it could get its attacks off on the one creature within range.
Mm-hmm.
Me.
And yeah, I have this set up right.
I don't know how this is
So it swings in with its claws twice. And the first one, it swings, very heavily across at you, Smiley, and you duck out of the way. The second one comes in, a massive backhand from the same claw, and you're ready for it, and you just sort of step back for a second, and then it comes in and tries to rip your head off with its beak.
Oh,
and
shit.
You're a little shocked because you weren't expecting it to get in that close. But it's still, at the last minute, you throw your shield up and it bounces off of it.
Holy shit.
Quite literally, the difference of your shield saved your ass here.
Oh, no. I thank Tuck for the bless. I thank Tuck for the enhancement.
It's like literally the difference between what your AC is and what it rolled to hit, because it rolled an 18, is your shield. Because technically right now you have a +1 shield because of the bonus.
Cool.
That being said, Smiley, you've seen this thing run at you and swing at you 3 times. It missed, but not by much.
I freak out. It's like oh, Shodan, show mercy. It's like almost if robots could crap, it would be oil at this point. I'm trying to. Sorry, just give me 10 seconds. I'm just trying to figure out which spell I can cast at this little.
That's fine. While you're doing that, I can tell our people at home that this is an owlbear that is much larger than usual. One could almost say it is a dire owlbear.
Ooh,
A dowel bear?
A dowel bear, yes.
Yes.
Or is it a 3/4 inch dowel bear?
This is more of a 15-foot dowel bear, where most are usually the 10-foot variety. This is a 15-foot.
15-footer.
1-5.
Mm-hmm.
It is a huge creature as opposed to a large creature.
Well, bigger they are, right?
And getting back into the game, I am ready to throw it. I don't see any spells that would be effective right now, so I'm just gonna go in with my Battle Fist. It's Battle Fist. Yeah, here it is, and it's coming up. Damn it!
Yeah, you swing at this thing and it doesn't even strike. Like, it shifts its weight and you miss. Unfortunately.
Damn it.
Next.
That's it for me.
Lana! Are you turning into a creature?
I was thinking about what creature should I turn into. I was thought about the Razor Beast. Well, let me take a quick
You can't
look.
turn into the Razor Beast.
Oh, it's
You have seen one, and eventually you can turn into it. However, it is a CR3 monster, and thus you cannot turn into it yet. Next level, you can turn into CR2, though, which is the Cave Bear.
Oh, right. Okay, so, you know what? It's Owlbear versus Bear Bear! So, 5, 10, 15, 20.
You can just drag and drop it. You have that entire column of all your beast shapes that you can just drag and drop, and you control them all.
We're gonna call you Sarah Palin. It's your mama bear.
Damn right, I'm a mama bear.
Blech.
I'm gonna bite it.
All right, you bite and miss. However, your claws, you try and bite and it doesn't even come close. Your claws, however, do grab purchase. However, purchase.
You're telling me she misses on 18?
No, she misses on the 11. She hits on the 18.
Okay, I was gonna say, what the flip is this thing?
However, you don't get as much of this creature as you thought you would. Its feathers are pretty damn durable. Sweet, that did work. Ha ha ha. All right. Anything else?
No.
Now we go back to the top of the order with Seraph.
Okay, I'm gonna move up a little bit just to get rid of that 3/4 cover. I think that's probably what's causing most of the issue. So, whoops, it's this one.
Well, it also has a decent AC.
Yeah, that's what I mean. With 3/4 cover, it's not helping, right?
Well, you also rolled really low.
Yeah.
You did not beat its base AC. Let me tell you that.
30. Yep. So I'll just move where I can get a good
Oh
eye
yeah,
on it.
yeah. It has no cover from you at that point. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna mark it with my hunter's mark and adjust that after because I guess
I'm not going to throw something on it just because it's the only monster on the field.
No problem. But I'm just saying my hunter's mark.
Yeah,
because
you have hunter's marked it. That's fine.
Okay. So that being said, first shot.
All right, that will hit.
Okay, good.
So
Second
you
shot?
deal.
Sorry.
That will hit as well.
And then hunter's mark and hunter's mark.
I'll need to change that eventually. That's easy enough for me to do later. You still have, those. You have one of those spell slots remaining, I believe.
Yep, I have 3 spell slots now.
Okay, so you have 2 spell slots remaining.
You got it.
All right, so looking at that, it is. Holy shit. Okay, the BBB pistol is your
+1
is
pistol.
the revolver.
It's in revolver mode. Yes, correct.
Okay, I have to question that because of reasons. All right, so that is 15.
And it's a +1 weapon, so if it's magical, it's doing damage.
Yeah, so it's 19 from the first hit. And then you got 25 from the second hit. Shit. Yeah, it took a good chunk of damage from those. That's your action and your bonus action.
Nope, I have 2 attacks now. My bonus action was the hunter's mark.
Yeah. Your action was to make your 2 attacks.
Yeah,
and
right.
Your bonus action was to make the hunter's mark before that. You did it
die.
in the right order. So as I said, that's your action and your bonus action.
Correct. You're right. Next.
And you've moved. That's it. Next. All right. Tuck. This thing is big.
Yep, move the flamethrower up, and it's gonna.
Well, we're gonna have some barbecued chicken bear tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And we could probably make a lot of jerky out of it too.
Oh yes. Is this bigger than the cave bear?
Does it make its dexterity save?
It hasn't rolled yet because I was trying to figure out how. Well.
And I'm going to use 6 charges on the magic missile as my action.
Okay. Holy shit. All right. Ian?
That's 5.
Just 5?
No, I did 5. There's 6.
Okay, cool. All right, so it rolled a 9, so it takes the 4 fire damage.
Nice.
And then, wait a minute, am I? Yes, I'm clicking on the right creature. And then 7, 11, 15, 18, 20 total.
And done.
It's, I
Bloodied.
think, looking bloodied. Actually,
Crap.
it's almost bloodied.
Wow.
If math is my friend tonight.
Oh, wow. See? Thank God it wasn't an emu.
That being said, it's going to split up the damage here. It's going to take one mighty swing, clawing first at Lana. I think that hits. It does. With a mighty 13 to hit, it does 17 slashing damage to Lana.
I don't see
Ouch.
the hit. I don't see the hit though.
I'm rolling it in secret.
Oh, okay.
If you ever really, like, if I get a crit, I will just call Ian over to confirm.
I believe you.
Its claw attack is going to continue forward and strike at the turret. Misses with a natural 1. And then it will peck at Smiley, which misses with a 14.
Oh, good. I'm seriously freaking out. This thing.
Oh yeah, this thing hits hard, but it only gets so many attacks.
Mhm.
So yeah, Smiley, it is your turn.
Okay, I'm just okay. It looks hurt from what I can tell. So I'm just gonna make
It's almost
sure.
bloody.
Yeah, I'm gonna make sure. I'm gonna add on top of that necrotic damage. Sorry. What was it called? Bane? Inflict wounds. Sorry, that's the one I was looking for. Inflict wounds coming in. Oh, are you serious?
missed.
Twice in a row?
Yeah, twice in a row you got a 12. Unfortunately, you miss. Any bonus actions? I don't think you have many that you can cast right now
Nope.
because you cast a first level spell.
Yeah, that's it for me.
All right, Lana, your bear form's hurting.
It is. I'm going to pour all my anger and rage into this last attack and hopefully defeat it.
Well, you miss and you miss. You're really hurt. Like every time you go to make your attack, you're pulling at wounds that your form has that you're not used to. It's matted in the fur and it hurts.
Ouch.
And you just yelp instead of biting, and you claw and then flex in pain reflexively and miss on both accounts. Anything else?
No.
Seraph, I mean, the good news is, Lana, you haven't taken any damage to yourself yet.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping.
All right. So it's marked. So I fire twice at it. See if I can hit.
All
Bang.
right. That'll hit.
Yeah.
So that's 17 plus your hunter's mark.
Ooh, that's as low
So
as it gets.
18.
Okay. That'll hit again. Plus my hunter's mark.
Yeah, your 16 will hit. So that's 17 plus 3 is
20. Still up?
it is still up, yes.
Okay. I go, Betty, you've been doing so good, but I gotta use my other pistol. So there's my other pistol. Holy crap, that's a nice shot.
Yeah, that is a very nice shot. So that's 17 plus 5, because you don't get the plus 1 to that, because he can only do it to one pistol at a time. 17 plus 5 is 22. Fortunately, that one doesn't deal as much damage. It seems to be slowed by the hide, almost like it's been resisting it.
Exactly. Is it still up?
It is still up.
I flip my hat up, catch it, and I go, it's high noon apparently. I do my action surge.
All right.
Boom. Okay.
22 will hit, yeah, or 23 will hit, and so will 19. And that is, okay, let me do the math here. 15, 18. After the 18, it is still up.
Oh my god, what is this thing?
It's a dire owl bear.
I
What
know,
did you
I know.
expect?
Keep in mind, 18 was the first of your two attacks.
Okay.
The second was 17 plus 5, which is another 22, which is enough to put it down when it had 7 hit points remaining.
All right. And then I flip my guns back, all badass looking. I throw them, catch one in midair in my holster, catch the other in my holster.
It's dead. You can't impress it.
I'm not impressing it. I'm just impressing myself.
I felt a little impressed.
All right.
All right. So this giant beast falls before you, having only successfully landed one attack.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God. Thank God. Thank the gods.
I felt comfortable attacking each of you once on the fact of it wouldn't have instantly killed you.
Wow.
Now
Hit
I'm
like
going to make myself a dire owlbear coat.
jerky.
And jerky.
Actually, you know what? Wait a second. This thing was resistant, which means, and it was probably magically resistant. So we could probably make something out of this.
Yes.
Its hide did have some sort of magical properties.
All right, I
And
skin it.
I did choose to change one of its things in the middle of the fight, because otherwise problems would have happened.
What was that? I'm just curious now.
I originally, when I had it set up, I gave it immunity to non-magical damage, and then thought better of it and made it resistant to non-magical damage.
Mm-hmm.
Especially considering it had resistance to magic and had advantage on all saving throws for magic and magic-like effects.
God.
Now, to be fair, the one time it rolled that, it rolled the same number twice.
I thank Mr. Artificer there. I'm like, this thing's performing beautifully. I think I'm in love. All right, let's skin it. Let's get some jerky if we need it from the meat.
Oh yeah, let's jerky this up.
That's gonna take time. You have to dry it.
Sure. Well, I mean, we can transport the meat back, right?
Weren't we like a week out?
Okay.
We didn't bring a wagon though. This is why you always bring a wagon.
True. We loot the cave or see if there's anything in the cave.
Okay. Looking through the cave, you can find a series of bones and, picked clean remains of various creatures, including the one horse that seemed to have been missing from the camp that had been taken by the razor beasts. It appears that this thing had taken that horse and picked it clean. You do find, that there are no humanoid remains that are left in this area. Apparently, any of those seem to have been eaten whole. And as such, to find any of them and what might remain on them, you'd have to go searching through the woods.
Mm-hmm.
As a human, I would not say that looking for owlbear excrement would be a good thing. I don't know anyone who would want to go searching through owlbear excrement.
Well, it depends.
It would be very. What if it's like guano and very valuable for farming?
Also,
you have bats that live in a colony below your city.
That is
you
true.
have a ready supply of guano.
That is true.
I was going to say this is a bit meta, but it depends because it's part owl and part bear. I mean, owls spit up pellets.
It has the bear parts.
Oh, okay, so then.
I literally had just thought about that about 15 seconds earlier. I'm like, no, it doesn't spit it up. It goes out the other end.
There you go. Okay.
At least in this world, owlbears have a full digestive system, and they poo.
All right.
The decisions you have to make as a DM.
Yeah. However, much like I was saying earlier, you guys, can harvest pieces from magical creatures and choose to make items with them.
Yeah.
And looking at this hide, it definitely has some sort of magical properties that if you were to invest the time and resources to making something with it, it would retain some form of magical property in the end.
Let's do it. How long will that take?
Again, the way I say it is I will tell you what possible items you could make. You choose what item type you want to make. And at the next session, after proper expenditure of downtime and resources, at this point, it's just downtime. You would have that particular item and learn what magical properties it has. In this case, it's feathers. You get the feeling that you could make a interesting set of heavy armor. You could probably make a set of medium armor or a really, really interesting cloak. I mean, who wouldn't want to wear a cloak that's made of like owlbear feathers?
Ooh, I want the cloak so bad.
I was going to suggest that our frontliners make something for our frontliners. Either, obviously, our bear, our druid, or this is just a suggestion, or Nabil's character, because you guys are always in the front. You guys should have high ACs, and especially
I'm 21. I don't.
Okay.
To be fair, Smiley can't wear armor.
Okay.
Instead, he bulks himself up, and his armor class will increase as his proficiency modifier does.
Okay.
Which I think just increased by 1. I don't think you're a 21 anymore. I think you're a 22.
Oh snap! I'm not even going to argue. I'm just going to take what he just said.
I mean, it was not rolling higher than a 14 to hit you, so which kind of sucked considering it had a plus 10 to hit.
Because I was, before we started the session today, I was trying to calculate how I was able to get a 20. Well, since you just said it right now, a 22 AC. I mean, my natural my natural Warforge armor gives me 16, and with the Tux enhanced defense that enhanced my shield. That's 16, and then gives me a 3. No, my shield was
your shield is considered a +1 shield, so it gives you a total of a bonus of 3.
So that's 19. So where do I get the other 2? I was trying to figure that
out. Give me a sec. I'm pulling up that information right now.
While you're working on that, can I suggest something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Steph, I don't know if this would work for you, because if we can make some sort of armor that you can wear, I don't know if it translates when you shapeshift.
It doesn't translate when I shapeshift.
Even if it's magical?
No.
What if we just make
basically any item that you can choose when you transform to have the item either absorb into you and you don't gain its benefit, or to continue trying to wear it and gaining its benefit. Most items don't work that way, but if you have like a necklace or something, that can work.
How about a cloak?
A cloak, depending on how you set it up, sure, it would work. Here we are.
It's a bear with feathers. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Well,
no. So
technically, that's an owl bear anyway.
So Smiley's armor currently, because you're wearing heavy plating, is 16 plus your proficiency bonus that gives you disadvantage on dexterity checks, plus a shield, which is 3. So currently, or before you leveled up, you were 16 plus 2 is 18, plus 3 is 21. Now I believe you're 16 plus 3, which is 19, plus 3 is 22.
Oh, wait, I forgot it. Oh, right, I didn't add my proficiency. Well, I did not add the proficiency, so that's why it seemed low. Okay, proficiency to AC. That's 3, I'm 22. I don't need anything from the owlbear. You guys can take it.
Yeah, and it will go up as you play.
Yeah, we'll figure. We can take it back to town, and we can figure out what we need to make. Maybe something with the claws as well.
I was going to use the claws as accessories too on my shield, but you guys go ahead.
So I will say that you guys knowing that you were going after some beast, and with the assumption that whatever this beast was, it was quite large, and your people could easily use its components, for lack of a better term, off the top of my head at least, you would have taken at least a few devices to allow yourself to keep material from the creature. So you could easily make some harvesting of it. Steph,
Yes.
give me a survival check. If anyone else has proficiency in survival, they can help her, giving her advantage on the roll.
Guidance.
Anyone?
Guidance will be applied as well. Awesome. So this will be determined just exactly what you're able to procure off this thing and in what amount of quantities and such. So regardless of if someone else is proficient or not, you're not going to get better than a 15. 15 is enough to get a sizable portion of the hide that hasn't been destroyed. The good news is most of your attacks dealt with the legs and the lower torso. So you have the entire, back, upper torso, and front arms to work with. However, you do notice that some of it is battle scarred from before, where it was fighting the Razor Beasts. It had healed over, at least the flesh had knitted together, but the outer hide was still damaged slightly. And as such, the usable pieces from that do limit yourself, so that you're only going to be able to form one device with its hide. Either the cloak or one set of armor of either medium or heavy nature.
Ooh.
That being said, you're also able to procure one of its eyes in perfect storage. Like you essentially pickle it in a way. A couple of its claws that didn't get all that badly damaged while engaging in combat with you, and you're also able to pull a few teeth as souvenirs. It does have a beak with teeth inside it.
That doesn't make much sense, but oh well.
Well, I'm looking at it right now, and there is a bit of serration with the beak. So I'm saying that, the beak itself has a serrated edge to it, and the inside has teeth to help shred whatever it's bit into and just make it into smaller pieces to easily digest.
Nice.
Just like an emu.
More like an owl, or not an owl, but more like a moray. It literally it bites and twists and shreds with its teeth as opposed to actually chewing.
Yeah, that makes more sense than emu.
Yeah.
That's still terrifying. Wow.
All right.
Oh, that is a good.
Yeah, I'm okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I guess
Head back.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Okay. I'm not sure if I'm seeing an error or not. Are there tokens on this map that shouldn't be there?
No.
Good. I'm seeing an error then, because I literally see the owl bear and all 4 of your tokens, but not the bear or turret. Interesting.
You're on the.
Yeah, you're on the
local,
local map, as I've called it. Because
cool.
You're able to, without too much issue, return to base and set yourself up. Without too much issue.
Okay. And I guess we'll rest and maybe go for the other ones. What do you guys think? That other area?
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
Again, it's a few days there, a few days back, and getting back into base. Things that have been going on while you're there. There is actually a small delegation that appears to be camped out outside the main gates to your settlement. And gate is really there's a small palisade wall with a large, 20-foot open area that has 2 guards on it with crossbows. And they're sort of eyeing these guys warily, but they don't have their weapons ready. They don't seem to be all that, antagonistic against these guys. You get the feeling these guys have been here for at least a day or two and have become common enough that they don't appear to be a problem.
But okay, so what are they doing here?
Well, as you approach, one of the individuals who seems to be sitting down at a small campfire that seems to be brewing something stands up, and they are tall. They are at almost 8 feet tall. Very, very powerful looking. Like they're very muscular, but not in the, you know, I'm buff and gonna beat you up Terminator style. They're more the Bruce Lee style of muscular.
Oh.
The entire arm is like all one piece of muscle that will snap you in two, but is very, very thin and sculpted. And it turns to you and bows its head, and you get the feeling that it's probably a female of some of its gender or of its kind. Being 8 foot tall, has a bovine facial structure, fairly large, kind eyes, and in heavily accented common, turns to you and says, "Welcome."
Thank you. My name is Lana Safos, and yours is?
Welcome?
Welcome. Alright,
I think that's the extent of that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Alright. I'm going to try speaking in all the languages I know, like Elvish, Druidic, well, she wouldn't know Druidic, Elvish, Sylvan, and Primordial.
And, as you switch through them, confusion, and then with Primordial, it suddenly, her face becomes alight with joy, and talking a mile a minute, she goes, "Oh my God, you can speak the language. I can't believe you can do this. It's so amazing. I haven't been able to talk with any of your people. It's been so hard. All I learned was one word. It was welcome. I'm not sure what it means. I think it means stranger. I'm not sure." I said it to you because I didn't know what it meant, and I figured maybe it's a good thing. I don't know. I'm sorry. My name is Kas.
Hello, Kas. I am Lana Safos. These are my companions.
That's what that means. I didn't know that. That's interesting. And the rest of you who don't speak Primordial, I'm assuming, hear a string of words in some foreign language going a mile a minute, and you're surprised that Lana's able to actually follow along with this babbling.
Mm-hmm. Well, we wait for the translation, basically. Well, I'll wait. I don't know, but I can't speak for everybody else.
Nah, I'm not going anywhere.
So, do you translate?
Yes, I translate everything.
Okay.
It would probably be a summarizing, but yeah,
Are these the guys who met our troops? Are these the forest people? Forest dockers?
Are you, why are you here?
I am actually a representative of sorts. This is odd. I've never actually had to do this before. I was asked to come and speak with you to open talks. What's the word that you want to use? I don't know.
Negotiate?
I think just dialogue.
Well, I was going to use that word, but we don't really have much to negotiate about. We just sort of met. Our scouts were tracking the group of and they were following them through the fields and came across your people, and apparently one of them saved one of our scouts' lives. society debts of such are quite significant, and the wish to repay them is grand. However, we've been very fearful of outsiders for most of our time in these areas. But we figured that you were at least trustworthy enough to begin dialogue, and as such, I and my small party here were sent to make peaceful talk.
Ah, yes, yes, come in. We shall have tea and make peaceful talk.
Peaceful talk. Peaceful talk, eh? Interesting.
And you notice that, she turns around and waves her hand, and what you thought before was a canvas tent, set up, the usual way, wasn't. It actually appears to be a leaf that has grown out of the ground and folded over a vine, and the entire thing seems to recede into the ground as she waves her hand, and it glows with a light green hue. She sort of, does the same with her other hand over the fire, using a spell that you're very familiar with, control flame, and just snuffs it out. Packs up her things into her bag, which seems to be made out of lichen and moss, and everything about her seems to be made of nature. She has no metal on her whatsoever.
It must be a lost druid circle. A happy day, oh happy day.
Looks like another group of tree huggers.
And you do notice that her companions appear to be guards. They appear to have the sickle and vine contraptions you had heard about earlier. And seeing it up close, it is very weird that their sickle appears to have a very rigid green leaf that is a small crescent that appears to be the blade of their weapon. The blade itself appears to grow out of a shaft of wood that grows into the vine, almost like it was crafted from nature as opposed to, smithed. And it does not appear to be something that would be fragile. It appears to be something that is very effective in combat.
Nice. Oh my god, this is amazing.
Well, I suggest rather than stay outside here, it's fun and, picturesque. Why don't we go inside and see if we can parlay with
We
these
are
people?
going inside. We're gonna have tea.
Okay. Let's
And
do it.
and dinner.
All right.
Do we have
So
enough-
you engage in polite diplomatic chit chat, establishing a small rapport with this, this representative, Callis, and she goes on to tell you a little bit about her people. She's still wary about informing you exactly where they are. She does inform you that they are to the southwest, as your scouts or your troops had reported, and that if you did wish to come and speak with them, that any travel in that direction would bring you into contact with their scouts, and they had been informed of you and told to bring you to their main settlement should you desire it. They inform you, she goes on to teach you a little bit of their language, at least enough to conversely tell them now not everyone speaks primordial, but and she's like, I don't know if they speak this language where you're from, and she begins, asking, do you speak this language in Druidic?
Yes, I speak this language, sister.
And she's remarkably shocked because she tells you outside of her people, no one in these lands speaks this language. It appears to be the language of the land, and we are of the land. So she informs you that she has been asked to liaise with you as sort of a ambassador of sorts, and that if you wish to speak with her people and her queen, that communicating with the scouts, should you be found, as long as you're not hostile, they will probably detain you, but they won't kill you. Very reasonably, you've passed into our lands, surrender, and we'll either escort you out, or you tell them, hey, no, we've been given leave to come and speak with your people. We just need to be escorted. You're probably going to be blindfolded. You're probably going to be, suspended off the ground and taken back to the lands so that you don't know where they are specifically, because they're afraid of people coming in and invading. And
so understandable. You're probably one of the lost tribes of Druidia.
We don't know what that is. We have never heard of that.
It's totally okay.
But with that, she stays for a few days, and you converse, and in the end, you get the feeling that if you were ever to engage with these people, they might be receptive of you on peaceful grounds and willing to trade, but they wouldn't want anything of metal, because let's face it, they're like druids and monks.
So what do they think of Warforged characters?
Well, considering you're an amalgamation of living wood and metal, they think you're fascinating. They wonder how you work and understand that you are a conscious, self-thinking, self-aware being. And it's just, they are completely shocked that you exist and wonder how it could be.
By the mercy of Shodan, I am.
Oh god, I keep forgetting you picked Shodan, which totally is weird for a life cleric.
I know Shodan is not in D&D at all, but hey, what the fuck?
Yeah, exactly.
Showdown.
Yeah, no. Yeah, Shodan is a interesting character that you and I are going to have to get together and expand upon, because the actual Shodan is not what would fit in this world whatsoever.
At all, I know, but I mean, considering I am playing a robot for all intents and purposes, Shodan shouldn't be that far off. I mean,
no, it's more we need to tweak this, and this, as opposed to we're wiping the slate clean and this is what she is.
I mean, I don't mind. I mean, yeah, I don't mind.
All right,
tweaking it, this and that later.
So with this, we are going to, because it's almost 10 o'clock, we are going to end this chapter of the tale. You have successfully established your community. It's still growing. It has growing pains, but you have managed to protect it from a incursion of the forest stalkers. You've managed to save the town from what could have been a dire owlbear threat. Take that as you will. And you found a strange and unusual temple underneath your settlement that could hold wonders, great and small.
Maybe they know something about it.
They're aware of various ruins of the precursors, as they are referred to. That's just what they have named them. It's weird temples and that have traps most of the time, and as such they try and avoid access to them as much as possible because they're afraid of losing people to the traps. But that being said, with next time, I want to know what you guys hope to be doing in regards to, are you looking for more resources? Are you looking for any sort of, fantastical creatures to potentially add to your magical repositories? Are you looking to
Menagerie.
try and engage in some diplomacy with these druidic peoples?
Mhm.
Are you planning on going underground and figuring out what's inside that temple?
Ooh, so much to
I,
do.
I mean, eventually we'll be going underground.
I'm open. But I think we should kind of look for other races and open dialogue like we did if we can.
Yeah.
And I think it's good to curry. That doesn't make sense. To
Curry
get
favor.
Yeah,
yeah, that's
curry
what I
favor
was
is
trying.
the phrase,
Curry
yeah.
favor. Is it curry favor? Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
It sounds
It means
funny.
to gain favor.
Gain favor with this group which has already reached out to us, and I think it would be good because maybe you can, meaning Steph, could start a druid circle with them.
Yay! That's
Sounds
what I
like
want. One of the
should take
lost tribes of Druidia.
Yeah, and then also I think we look into that thing under us because it just makes sense. It is under us, right?
Okay, so next time you're planning on doing a little bit of diplomacy and then potentially delving underground?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, all right.
Yeah. I don't
Cool.
dictate what the party says. I just
Well,
suggest.
I'm asking so I know what to prepare in the future.
I just
Because if otherwise, I do like this where I prepared one for every single option and then prepared what would happen when you chose one of them over the others. So in this case, I know what to prepare for next time, so I'm not preparing 6 different things and then you choose, oh, we're just doing this one.
So far, I've been having a pretty good time. So, and it's nice to
Awesome.
be back.
Yes, it is very nice to be back.
All right, guys. Well, I look forward to our next meeting.
All right.
All right.
All
So-
right,
Later.
2 weeks
So,
now.
I want everyone to stick around after we sign off so I can go over some logistics.
Okay. So, Steph,
Cool.
take it away.
Whoa, what was that? Sorry.
Signing
Once
off.
you sign
Sign
off, we're
off,
just
yes.
going to go over logistics of,
Yes.
loot
Yes.
and what you're planning on building and such.
All right. I would like to thank everyone for watching. Thank you, Angel of Light. Thank you, Commander Root. Thank you, Lurk. And thank you, Party Wipe Games and Zane Kyber. Again, please check out our doobly-doo down below for a link to our Discord and our Extra Life. Have a nice night. Bye-bye.